Hi, I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and I'd like to welcome you to this video, especially if you are someone who is struggling with some technical issues with your CNC machine, whether it's a router or a laser, plasma cutter. Maybe you just got the machine and you just can't get it running. Maybe you got it from like Amazon or something, or it broke down on you, or you want to do some upgrades and you're not really sure how to go about it. Well, I've got a solution for you. You see, by virtue of this channel, where I teach you how to do the design work for beginners and the control software that runs your CNC machine, I do more about routers and I teach you about the routers and router bits. I teach you how to start a CNC business. By virtue of that, I get a lot of emails of people who are asking me to troubleshoot their problems because they don't have anybody to turn to. Well, I hate to tell you, but I am not the guy for that. Unfortunately, I wish I was. I can teach you all this other stuff, and I'm really like to take it down to detail for you. But I have no clue what's going on inside that black box or how to do upgrades and things like that. So I realized this was a need out there for someone, a go-to guy that people can turn to deal with these issues, breakdowns or upgrades, or you just can't get the machine running. And eventually I found somebody. There's a guy who actually happened to come on this channel who was watching these videos that I make for you. And we got in touch with each other. His name is Jeff. And he was engaged by the business stuff that I teach and actually tried it out and saw some success. So that's what made him reach out to me. And as I got to talking to him, I found out this guy's got a lot of technical knowledge in his noodle. I mean, more than your average Joe, average technical Joe, put it that way. Put it this way. He's troubleshot two machines while he's riding in his car. That's how good he is. So I'm going to introduce you to him here. What I did is I did a Zoom meeting with Jeff to introduce him to you so you know who he is. So you got a go-to guy with your technical problems with your CNC machine. So this is a Zoom meeting where Jeff's introducing himself. And then I'm going to tell you how to get hold of him. If you call Jeff by virtue of this video, just do me one favor. Say, Jeff, Garrett sent me, told me you can help me out. That way Jeff and I know what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this Zoom call that Jeff and I had so you know who he is, and I'll tell you how to get hold of him.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good, good, good. So, Jeff, yeah, we're recording this because I want to make sure that people on the YouTube channel they know there's somebody with some really good technical expertise on this CNC router stuff that there's someone out there that can actually really troubleshoot this stuff. And so I wanted to just make sure that that I could shoot this video to do this kind of thing so people do know you're there. And so what I want to do is to kind of introduce you to the channel, and if people have troubles, they'll know where they can go, because one of the things I get all the time are emails from people technical issues on their machines, and that's a little bit beyond me, right? I'm the teacher, right? I teach the CNC stuff and the technique, and I'm the mechanical guy, but I'm not an electrical guy. But so just kind of keeping this kind of short and getting to the point, will you introduce yourself here so our brothers and sisters CNCers can kind of know who you are?
Yeah, sure. My name's Jeff Holmes. Kind of just give you a little bit of my background. I worked in industrial maintenance for several years and then went into aerospace, and I deal with electronics and instrumentation. And when I say instrumentation, not like musical instruments or anything like that, but electrical devices.
We're talking all the knobs and dials.
Yeah, little knobs and dials and pressure measurements and all that stuff. And so it kind of plays in with this CNC. And so I got into CNC because of a coworker and all that. And trying to keep the story short, it's something that I happened into. And the whole idea behind it was I wanted to cut circuit boards. And I got to playing with wood, and I have yet to cut a circuit board, and it's been 7 years. So so it's taken me in a whole different direction. And I guess how you and I kind of came together was I watched one of your videos several months ago, and as you talked, it was like you were, I don't want to get like all, I don't know, like on a spiritual level or anything like that, but it's like you were talking and it was like I was hearing myself talk, and it was what I really needed to hear. And I applied what you had used in that video, and it actually worked. Like that night, it worked better than anything I had done as far as like dealing with customers. I was like, well, this guy Garrett knows what's going on. So
Can you tell the story about that?
yeah, so
What was the video, and what's the
I'm trying to remember
foundation?
what the name of the video was. I think it was what you're doing wrong with your customer or something like that. I could be wrong on that video, but
Okay,
it was several.
so it was one of the business related CNC
Yeah, it was
videos.
a
Okay.
business related one, and you actually made a comment about how you need to approach the customer in a personal level and forget about the money. You know, forget about how much you're going to sell or what you're trying to sell to this person, and you just try to give them value. So I just approached it that way, just put an ad on Facebook, and that night I got a sale, you know, and I had zero luck on Facebook, absolutely nothing.
Really?
So just within like 20 minutes, I had like 3 orders, and I was like, oh wow.
So how did you attribute that to that video?
Well, because my approach before was I was always talking about what I was making, and when I went and put this post on, I approached it from the aspect of I want to help you, the customer, get what they want. And that's what I took away from your video is it's more about giving the customer what they feel like is value rather than trying to sell a product to them.
All right, so you got the idea that it's about giving value to them first.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fundamental. So anybody who's watching this video, I do videos for CNC beginners for to teach you about design and the routers, and I teach about business as well. And so that's what Jeff's talking about. He's seen some of the business videos and
So I actually commented on that video, and then like a week or I guess a couple of days later, you actually mentioned me in the video.
Yep.
By name, and I was like, oh, is that the same Jeff I was talking about? As you told the story, I said, oh, that's me. So I was like, all right, so on some level, we're on the same wavelength thinking. And so I started just really following everything he did. And I got to noticing like over the months that the videos started to become fewer and fewer, like you were getting busy. And so that's when I reached out to you and said, hey, look, if you're getting like technical issue calls, I may be your guy to relieve a little bit of stress. I feel like I owe you a little bit. I mean, well, quite a bit actually.
Well, let's talk about that, because what this is intended to is to help people have that resource to go to when they have CNC machine issues or that they need to troubleshoot, like just process issues where the machine's not running right. And so I've talked to Jeff quite a bit since, and we have partnered up in a way where Jeff has his own he's got his own business, but I wanted to create an umbrella or a resource. I want to get several resources in place, and this is one of them. So CNCers have a place to go when they have CNC machine issues. And so Jeff has a couple of stories that I think are really, really cool to tell that kind of show his level of expertise in troubleshooting. So why don't you share those 2 stories, Jeff? And
so the first one happened, I don't know, about 2 months ago. A friend of mine from high school, and this is a pretty smart guy. He works for a high-tech company and has for several years. But one of his buddies actually bought like one of the little, trying to remember the name of it. It's Sainsmart.
Sainsmart. Yep, that was a Sainsmart machine.
Well, he bought it secondhand. Guy he got it from never put it together or anything like that. And so my friend called me. He said, I know you deal with this and you know more about how the electronics work on these than I do. It's not that I can't figure it out, but I'm really struggling. I was on my way. I won't call the name of the store, but I was on my way to the hardware store. I said, well, I'm driving right now, but let me see if I can walk you through it. And I know the Sainsmart from helping other people in the past, I know it'll directly connect to easel software. So in the 7 miles from my house to the hardware store, which took me about 15 minutes to drive, he went from not being able to control his machine at all, and he was actually carving by the time I pulled in the parking lot. So
Isn't that nuts?
yeah.
So that's like that's the level that Jeff can walk a person through. But go ahead.
And so like the other story is very similar to that. It's a guy that I've been talking to over the last couple of weeks. He called me Saturday and was having problems. He had bought a Longmill and he was having problems with that. And when he had called me, I was actually over at my sister's house and I was up on the roof trying to do some repairs, helping my sister out. And I said, you know, I really can't talk right now, but I'll give you a call as soon as I can. And so I was on my way back from my sister's house, which is about 40 miles away. And on the way back from his house, I had his machine up and moving around by the time we got home. So I was driving and walking him through it. And he actually made the comment, and he said, you've got a mind like what did he say? Like a lock, like an ironclad lock or something like that. And I said, no, I've just made enough mistakes that I know what not to do. And that's really what it comes down to is I've played with this and I've played with this. I've actually built 2 machines from scratch, and I kind of keep one of them close by. This is my first little prototype. I don't know if you can see it. So it's actually made out of CD-ROM parts. And I keep that on my desk. But I had to learn how to measure the steps and the steppers and set up the controller from the ground up. You know, all the little settings that come preset in your controller, I did that from the ground up on that machine. So I understand it like way down on the base level almost. So, and it's all because I just fumbled with it.
Right. So you've learned the school of hard knocks basically, but you just retained all that information and your technical experience in just in work that you had to deal with that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I
mean, it's
mean,
kind of natural for you.
yeah, and you know, talking to people has kind of come natural too because I mentor high school students in my job, and I also work with college interns every summer. So it's not unusual for me to kind of walk people through problems. It's kind of a natural thing for me to do.
Right.
So,
Yep. That's cool. So you do social work as well, and you're a church guy, aren't you?
yes, I am.
Yeah,
And so,
very strong on that. So Jeff has decided to make his skills available to other people, and he's exactly what I've been looking for through the IDC Woodcraft. I guess the umbrella that I'm trying to build, where people have that resource for the troubleshooting. Because I mean, how often we see that in Facebook groups, right? There are people can't troubleshoot it. I get emails, I see it all over the place, and it is frustrating. I've seen the frustration from people when they're running those technical issues. So Jeff is a guy that you can talk to, and he is incorporating that technical assistance into his business. So you are going to give me links, and I'm going to put them down in the description of this video for those who are having trouble with their CNC router. I don't know. I guess you can deal with lasers as well to some degree too.
yeah, I do have some background in laser, and actually, because of my work, I actually deal with 3D printers too. So,
Okay.
and they're all very similar.
Yeah. Well, when it comes down to it, a CNC is a CNC is a CNC.
All of them use stepper motors, and most of them use the same boards.
Right. So, okay. So yeah, it is a paid service that Jeff's going to be providing, but at least you'll be able to get you'll have a resource to go get your machine taken care of and troubleshoot it. Jeff has helped me already. He's explained some things that I didn't understand. you kind of gave me a deep dive into spindles.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Because
it's very much like what you do in the industrial world with just regular motor drives. It's
right,
essentially what you're doing is you're just putting a big motor
right.
on the router instead of the router.
Yep. Okay. Well, I have no clue how I'm going to title this video, so when people are struggling with their CNC, that they'll come to this video and find somebody that can help them out. But I'm sure I will come up with something so that it gets ranked up there. Yeah. So I think that's about it. Jeff, do you want to share anything else with
No, I'm just here to try to help. You know, I kind of see what your vision has been, and I want to put my efforts into that to try to help you expand what you're trying to do. And, you know, I really think that's what it's all about. It's all about us trying to help each other in this CNC world and just struggle and fight through it. And, you know, don't give up. It's right there. All the knowledge is out there. It's not a big secret. So it's not like I have some kind of special secret that I'm holding on to. Everything I got, I found on the internet, and I'm willing to share it with anybody.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Jeff and I have had several discussions of just our principles and what we want to do. You know, it's not about the money, right? It's about helping other people, because for whatever reasons they want to change. You know, we all have our reasons for getting into CNC, and it's scary, and sometimes there's things that happen and you don't know where to turn. So that's what I'm trying to create here, and Jeff understood that, and that's why one of the reasons he approached me on it. And our values are the same. We want to help people.
I think you said it in one of your podcasts. You know, there's like 8 billion people in the world. We're not taking anybody's job away from them.
Right. No, we're not. Okay. Well, like I said, Jeff's contact information is down in the description of this video, and there will be a little write up there, and whatever else. So if you have trouble with your CNC machine, router, laser, plasma, CNC, he can work with it, because a CNC is a CNC is a CNC. Yep. And design wise, of course, you know, I'm the guy, and some of the other, you know, beginner stuff. So all the information will be down below. So Jeff, thanks for taking a minute to so we could record this. So whoever's out there watching this going, oh, I need help on my machine, I don't know where to turn, now they know they got somebody to turn to.
All right. Glad to help anytime.
Yep. All right. We'll see you.
All right. We'll see you.
Well, now you know there's somebody out there who can help you with your CNC machine. Remember, it doesn't matter if it's a laser, router, plasma cutter. If it moves around on axes, it's a CNC machine. This guy can troubleshoot it for you. And if he doesn't know it, he will figure it out. So remember, his information is down below, and tell him I sent you. And if this was helpful, if this, like, now you've got this resource, then give me a thumbs up. And I apologize about the quality of the video that I had. It's a little humid here, and I got some humidity on my camera screen, so, and it's not very good anyway. I'm working on that one. Thumbs up, comment down below. Remember, bookmark this information. You might want to copy it and put it somewhere where you're not going to forget it, so that you have this. And I'm going to start to include it in all of my stuff so that you always know you can go to IDC Woodcraft and Jeff's information will be there. All right, I'm Garrett. I hope you have a great day, better tomorrow, and happy CNCing.